Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This video, I'm going to show you how I made this really awesome conversation piece, really. But it can be used as a table, an end table, a stool, you name it. I got to thank Total Boat as well for supplying the resin for this. Really good stuff. You want to see how I did it? Let's go. So I'm going to start this off by telling you I was inspired by waste. What's that mean? Well, this is a bunch of waste. These pieces here, I was throwing them out for a little while. They come in the middle of these 90-degree brackets I make. Now, the website sales for these were so good, and thank you so much, guys, that I ended up getting a ton of these. And I figured, why not try to use them and make them into a project? I got more ideas for them, but this is the first iteration, and I think it came out pretty darn cool. Again, thick set resin was used, but I figured, why not pay those forward? So, when you're on the website checking this out, these are now marketed as box of 90s. All right, check these out. They're pretty cool. And hopefully, inspiration will strike you as well. All right, let's get into this build. So I'm going to dig some footage out from the archives here of this tapering jig I made. This jig is actually super handy. If you don't have a joiner as well, you can use this to get a really nice straight cut on a table saw. But also, it has the functionality to cut tapers as well, and they're very repeatable. You can see here I'm just running these pieces through, and in this video, I did mention that I was going to use these table legs for another project. Well, today's the day. We're going to use these and see how it goes. A quick recap on how this works. You basically set a slight angle, you make one cut, and then you turn that piece 90 degrees, and it gives you a simple taper like this. Now, do you need tapers on legs? Not really. They're more of an aesthetic choice. It gives a lighter feel on the foot and a little bit more of a beefier feel at the top, kind of creating, well, I think a more grandiose top of the table look. That way all your attention isn't drawn down to the feet. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and sand these down. Now, I've been sanding a ton of parts and I have my sander turned upside down still, but actually, I prefer this method. When you sand something a little bit smaller like this, if you're able to mount your sander upside down, especially a random orbit sander, this actually works really well. Now, the feet of the legs are going to be chamfered a little bit, and I like to do this by hand because it kind of gives a nice, soft, organic look. You can see there, we're not going to have to worry about any splinters coming off of these because that chamfer is going to take care of that. So to assemble this thing, we're going to use one of these really awesome silicone molds from Crafted Elements. They make a ton of different varieties of molds, and honestly, doing this project like this without this would be really tough. I had to make this circle mold from scratch, a bunch of Tyvek tape. You don't want to worry about that. So I'm going to link them down below. Give them a look. They have a ton of molds for you for all your resin needs. Now, moving forward, you're going to see here, I'm going to put these little 90-degree pieces in here. I can space out 5 of them in between each leg, and I'm just going to use my eye to space them apart. No reason to kind of make a spacer block. I think that's a little bit overkill. All right, the next step in the process is some resin. Now, I'm pumping out some 2-to-1 high-performance resin from Total Boat. You think, well, why don't you just go ahead and float it up with thick set? Well, if you think about it, these pieces would actually float, and that's not what we want. We want these pieces to be anchored in place without using any clamps, and we're going to rest on this resin here to be the clamps for us. About 1/16 of an inch is all you're going to need, and then it's time to mix up the big daddy, the thick set. So this resin is a 3-to-1 ratio resin. I like to get all the A part in there. Let that jug sit there for a second and get all that A mixture in there. Then when you put in the hardener, you know you got the right ratio. Stir it up. It's cloudy at first, but then it becomes crystal clear. But you're not quite finished yet. You definitely want to pour this into other containers, other clear containers that have no resin in them at all. Stir it again for a few more minutes, and then you're ready to go. Reason being, well, you don't want any of that unmixed resin that's been clinging to the side or the bottom of that bucket in this project. Not going to happen. Now, if you look here, I've made a big mistake. I did not prep these pieces properly. They're simply raw. I don't have any resin on them to begin with. I should have coated them with either, oh, check this out. Thick set with a heat gun and high speed. Pretty cool. But yeah, I should have done this process before now. I should have coated all these pieces with a little bit of resin before pouring the thick set. Reason being, I thought about it then. I'm like, I'm going to get little bitty baby bubbles in here. And I ended up, and you're going to see that in a little bit, and that's my fault. Had I taken the measures of prepping all these pieces properly, I wouldn't have had that issue. Now, depending on your location in the country or in the world, in your temperature and humidity, thick set takes a little bit longer to cure than your average resin. It took this about 36 hours to cure, but I'm here in Florida, but it happens to be cold here at the moment, so it did take a little bit longer. Although, you don't want to rush it. Leave it a couple days, see where you are. Now, you see those bubbles there on the sides? That's not that big a deal. We're going to go ahead and sand those off. And you can see here the sanding takes place, well, a couple different methods. One, I tried the random orbit. Now I've gone to the Rotex, which is essentially like a low-powered angle grinder, and that seemed to work pretty well. You know, resin's a unique medium to work in. It does teach you a little bit of patience for sure, because you can't just make it and be done with it. You know, so even the process of sanding teaches you patience, and sanding resin is no different. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm taking some sandpaper, about 240 grit, and I'm going to go ahead and scuff up the legs as well. Because in order to finish this piece, I'm not going to do a flood coat on the top. I'm going to use something else. Before I do that too, I'm going to take a chamfer bit around the entire top of this, just to kind of ease the edge. And then sand it down, hand sand it with some 240 grit sandpaper, making sure to get all the spurs and everything. And this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use these two in combination, the Fuji spray with the Halcyon clear. One of my favorite combinations in finishing ever, really. This Halcyon stuff is pretty awesome. Now, the reason I'm using Halcyon is because this thing is going to be in the house with a bunch of toddlers. I mean, my kids aren't toddlers anymore. They're 4 and 5 years old, but they mess things up. Woo, let me tell you. So it's going to give it a little bit of a translucent finish, not necessarily 100% transparent. And here it is, all finished, ready to go. You can see it's see-through, but not quite. And that, my friend, doesn't show too many scratches, which is what I want. Now, here are the little bubbles I was talking about. That's my fault. I should have sealed those pieces first, but hey, live and learn. Still a pretty cool piece. Oh my God. So here it is in this final form. I got it here outside. This is a AstroTurf, or a, what do you call it? Artificial grass playmat for the kids outdoors. I figured the contrast of the green looked pretty good, but really it's going to be inside holding a couple plants here or there, and this is basically what it's going to be used for. Now, you could use it as a small stool. You could use it as a footrest, whatever you want. This is one of those projects where I thought, can this work? And absolutely it can. It gives me some different ideas to use these scraps on bigger molds in the future, and I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Well, that wraps up this video. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Really, thank you from the bottom of everything I got. This audience, I believe my audience is the best in the world. I can't thank you enough. Also, check out TotalBoat.com. I'm going to link 3 products down there. The Halcyon Clear Finish, which I love, the Fix Set, and the 2-to-1 High Performance Resin. Really, those 3 things, having those in your arsenal here, you'll be ready to tackle almost any resin project on the planet. Check them out. And of course, go check out aglimpseinside.org as well. The things we're offering to the world, these Baltic birch tool holders, 90-degree clamp assist, fun stuff. And it's been such an overwhelming response, and I can't thank you guys enough. And let's just keep that train rolling. All right, guys, see you on the next video. Thank you so much. You guys are great. I really mean it. Thanks. Bye.